interesting days of the year this week. I see my producer mentioned that there was World Radio Day.
It is, yes. It is also um, Global Movie Day or Movie Appreciation Day,
Okay.
which got me thinking straight away, because it's awards time of year, right? It starts with the Oscars around now, so maybe that's why it's around now. But it's a reflection of what is the age-old discussion of what's your top 10 favorite movies.
Oh, geez, don't ask me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and what I found when this has come up in previous years, if you ask people, well, give us your top 5, top 3, top 10, whatever it is, and then a few things happen. One, someone goes, Shawshank Redemption, and oh yeah, that one. Oh, is that one better than that one? Is that one? Oh, hang on, no, we can't just do top 3, top 5, top 10. We have to do genres, because everyone's got different favorites, and so it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I went online and I thought, well, what if you Googled this kind of thing, what would come out? And actually, just about every country in the world has had this as a topic. And there's a Wikipedia page around list of films considered the best by surveys done in each of these countries.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's impressive.
And of course, I mean, it makes sense. You know, the Japanese are going to have their favorite movies that are probably more linked with their culture or their language or filmed in Japan. You know, it's that kind of thing. So you can't really equate whether Shawshank Redemption would be a great movie in all countries. I'm not saying Shawshank Redemption is the greatest film ever. But on this list, it's got loads and loads of countries. And I did notice a lot of the westernized world have very similar. They have a bit of their own manufactured films, but they've also got some of the same. And then it starts leading on to... Oh, South Africa doesn't have this, by the way. It's not on the list. So then I was like, well, so why, okay, before I get in there, a lot of the great movies of all time, they go, well, why was it a great movie? And it goes back to the genres again. And actually, a lot of the movies are old, but why were they regarded as the great movies of all time? And it is around the efforts they went to, because it was black and white, or silent movies if you go back far enough.
Sure.
It was about the visual impact. They spent a lot more time on props and the camera angle and what you're seeing. Whereas now, for us, we get bored of that quite quickly. So typically, we'd only see a landscape that's epic footage and quality at the start of the scene.
Effects.
Yeah, so we are now more into the action and the special effects and that kind of thing, whereas they had a lot more visual in long-lasting memories of the film, or the music behind it that went which complemented it. Now we're getting into a whole realm of what makes a good movie. And actually, I came to the end of it and going, you can't make a top 10 list. Everyone's list is going to be different for whatever reasons, right or wrong. You're all going to, and this debate will go on forever. Yeah, and maybe I've just achieved that today is Movie Appreciation Day, because I've just rattled on through all of those things. But I was going to ask you, because I went to look at, well, why South African movies? Because there's a number of movies and other things filmed in South Africa. I think we touched on it before.
Yes.
When was if you were to say, what is your top South African movies? What would you say? And that's quite hard again. I mean, there's a lot of movies made that don't necessarily make it to cinema or to various film festivals. But there's a lot of movies made. So my first question is, what's your favorite South African movie? And then I'm going to say, well, the second question is, when do you think the first movie was made in South Africa?
Okay.
That's a really good question.
Oh, thanks, man.
So
I did struggle with this, because there are movies made in South Africa, but would you call that a South African movie? The director, the producer, and all that is South African, so therefore it's filmed in South Africa, so therefore it's a South African movie. But is it about anything in South Africa? Does it have to be?
Yeah. Because I mean, that would be my question. Like, what do you classify as a South African movie? Directed by a South African, produced by a South African, filmed in South Africa. South African actors in it. I mean, what would you say? Um, I mean, just to answer that question, yeah, I don't know. How do I answer it? Which one of those do I tick to make it a South African movie?
I any one of them. I don't think we should restrict it. I mean, there's a lot made, but there's also a lot of unknowns.
Okay,
Like
so I'll go
well,
with
the South African movie that's actually on the UK more often than any other that I can come across is Invictus,
okay,
because
right.
it's got a Hollywood star in the lead role, and it's about Mandela, and they love everything about that era of Mandela coming to power. But it's a sport movie. It's a bit of history. It's a bit of everything. It's got a Hollywood star in it.
Yes, I would go with District 9. Filmed in
Not
South
Chappie.
Africa, directed
I'm
by
impressed.
an ex
I'm
South
impressed.
African.
Not
Right?
Chappie.
No, not Chappie.
No, I think it's a pretty good choice. Like for me, definitely like if you ask me which South African movie I enjoyed the most, right? And there's like most likely only one on the list, and that's Gods Must Be Crazy.
That's
It's interesting that the must-see movies, they did touch on different genres, because there's a lot of history, a lot of true story that's been brought to life on the screen, and Leon Schuster's movies have prevailed through all of this. And he did one like
but you know that they've
recently.
all been removed now.
No, but he's still making them,
Yeah, but a lot of his
the older
movies
stuff.
have been taken off the streaming services like Showmax and all that because of
right.
the whole blackface thing.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And he was just about to release a movie last year that also was him doing blackface. And because of that, they've canned the movie.
He produced what's this one? Top South African movies. I'm just looking on this IMDb. Oh, there
Yeah.
we go. Shall I run through them? IMDb
Yeah.
reckons
Let's go for it.
top 20 South African movies. Tjops,
Yes. I
highest
mean, that won an
rated.
Oscar, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, fine. Gangster's Paradise. Jerusalem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that one.
I do.
Max and Mona.
No,
Don't know that one.
never heard of
All
it.
right, here we go. Zulu. Now, this is the Zulu one with Michael Caine in it that was made in the 60s or whenever it was.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, because that's actually a Hollywood type movie. Well, no, it
Yeah.
came from the British producers, I think. That's done before on the list of. Then we got Blood Diamond. And then I'm like, hang on, that might have been filmed in SA, but it wasn't it based on sort of Mozambique and other countries?
Sierra Leone is where
Sierra
it was
Leone.
based.
Okay.
It was based there. It might have been filmed in South Africa though.
Some of the parts were filmed in South Africa because I remember they have a scene in Cape Town or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cry Freedom.
Yeah.
Stunder. About
Yes.
the policeman
Yeah,
bank robber.
Yeah. And that's such a
Mandela.
cool, but I mean, that's actually quite a cool story because I can actually remember it happening and being in the Sunday Times. Okay, fair enough,
Yeah.
Stundo.
But it was played
Who
by
played
American.
the actor? Who was the actor for Stundo?
Thomas Jane,
Okay.
I think. Dexter Fletcher. Don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't really. I can't without
Yeah,
drilling
you
into
know,
this.
no, I thought it was someone that was well known. But anyway, carry on. And then Stundo,
Okay. Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom,
yeah.
and then Cry the Beloved Country,
Yeah.
which has got James Earl Jones in. I met James Earl Jones in Durban when he was filming there.
Oh, okay.
Invictus is number 10.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of movies with Mandela in it. Fair enough. All right, number 11. Here we go. The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Not bad, Oleg. Number
There
one
we
in
go.
the second
Number 1 comedy.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Disgraced.
it is classic. It is classic. I mean, Gods Must Be Crazy is just such a well-made comedy.
Uh,
You know,
I wonder what that
such a-
did for Coca-Cola, though. I mean, did Coca-Cola benefit anything from that?
I think they
wonder.
did sponsor. I think they did sponsor.
Yeah.
Did they do such a thing in those days?
Yeah.
Okay.
What product
All right.
placement? Product placement in a movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to run through these quickly now. So
Yeah.
District 9 is at 14.
Okay.
Number 15, another Leon Schuster, Mr. Bones.
Yes.
I couldn't believe this. Felis a Kind.
All right.
Oh, I remember reading that at school.
Yep. Circles in the forest.
Yeah, well, that was another
Yeah.
one we did.
Yeah.
Krangani Boss.
Yeah.
And then there's Yankee Zulu, Forever Young, Forever Free, 1975. Break Morant, which is 1980. Break Morant was about Australian military. I mean, but that was a South African film.
Yeah.
All right, so there's actually quite a few. There's a lot of films made in SA that the industry is certainly doing stuff. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But there is some good stuff. There is a legacy there, which leads me back to one of my other questions, which was, when was the first movie made?
Okay. Give it to
I
us.
have no idea.
Give me a rough year. Go on. Take 7
19.
years.
I don't know. 1950. Am I warm? Am I cold?
No, I think that would have been 30s or 40s or something.
And I would have thought around 30s, 40s, just sort of between the wars.
Yeah.
1911.
That's impressive.
Really? What was the movie?
Yeah. The Great Kimberley Diamond Robbery. It was an adventure genre.
Was it sponsored by De Beers?
I wonder.
The robbery or the movie?
But then I was like, well, maybe that was just a one-off. But yeah, it was only a few years later. The Voortrekkers, an artistry, and it's two done in 1916, another one in 1919, and then there's the war breaks. So then it carried on in 31.
Yeah.
And a lot of those early movies from the 30s and 40s were all in Afrikaans as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there was
Wow,
the
that's
first English
interesting.
one was much later.
Yeah. Thanks for the history lesson. Eh?
There we go.
Oh,
That is
I
Film
think,
Appreciation Day, guys. Well done.
I think we'll end off on that. Well, that was a good one, dude. I really enjoyed the last segment. Eh? Learned something
Yeah.
new for a change.
I
Right,
think
so
I'm gonna
that's
watch
it.
a movie.
So what movie are you going to watch today?
I don't know.
I think I must find
Is there
something
anything left to
decent
watch on Netflix? I wonder.
You tell us.